Here we go. I think we're on. Sam James, welcome to the Rachel Holmes podcast. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You?
I'm really good, and I'm really looking forward to chatting to you today. It was off the back, really, of you joining the advanced presenter course over the last few weeks, and I've got to know you a little bit better. And to be honest, Sam, you've completely blown me away with your knowledge and your expertise and everything that you've overcome to be here doing what you're doing. You're such an inspiration. And I thought I'd really love to get you on the podcast and just inspire others, because I think with your knowledge, you've got so much expertise that we can all learn from. All group exercise instructors can learn from you and your story and your knowledge. So let's wind it all the way back. Tell me about your journey to becoming a fitness professional.
So I'm going to take you back, right back.
Come on.
I've qualified 10 years now, so I'm going to take you back about 14, 15 years, roughly.
Do it.
And to start right back to about 26, 25, 26, I went to the GP and I said, oh, my CP seems to be getting a little bit worse and getting stiff. I'm walking a little bit. As I walk, it's not as fluid as it was. And she said, oh, have you tried going into yoga or Pilates? I was like, no, but I'm happy to give something a go. We looked around my local area, and all there was body balance. So went and found a gym that was right for me, and joined a body balance class, and had a brilliant instructor. She was larger than life in every way, shape or form, but she was really good with me. She didn't push me too much. She let me do it in my own time. I had a chair next to me. I had a spot at the back where there's like a body bar that if I needed to hold on for my balance, I could. And so I did that for about 3 or 4 years. Then when I was a kid, I always wanted to dance. And my mum took me to dance schools. They either didn't want me or have me, or they would put me in kids just half my age. So I could be 8 and they put me in kids of 4. And that could put me right off. I'm thinking, I don't want to be a 4-year-old. So when I dance with children my age, and I remember walking out going, I'm not coming back, Mum. Not coming back. So that sort of halted because we couldn't find anywhere that would suit me and my needs. And when I was watching TV one day and they had Beto on the Creator of Zumba, and it's new in the UK, and I was just watching it going, it's dancing. Oh my God, this looks really easy. I could do this. So I found a class. My mum came with me to start with. My mum didn't like it, but I did, so I continued to go. And it was that really that fueled my fire, because it didn't matter what way you went, it didn't matter what move you did. As long as you were moving, that is all that mattered. And I loved the music and sort of getting going. And then I got the confidence to go to other classes. So I was going to like Body Jam, Body Attack, all that things in my gym. Then I actually cracked a bone in my shoulder joint here. And I couldn't move my arm past here. I had 6 months of physio. And I was in the gym one day. I still went to the classes and did it all one arm. I was not using the arm. I was just doing it one arm. And the guy that worked in the gym, a PT, he said to me, oh, ask the physio if I can work with you. And, okay, I got physio next week. I'll ask her. I went in and she said, I said, oh, I work with Luke in the gym. He's itching to get me in the gym to work with me, to help me. Yes. And that's fine. He's a rehab PT, that's perfectly fine. I literally worked with him, and within 2 weeks, I went from here right up.
Wow.
And I was going about 2 or 3 times a week. But not only did I notice improvement in my shoulder, I saw a big improvement in my cerebral palsy. So I was like, oh, I was falling over less, I was walking further, I could actually do more. And then one day he said to me, have you thought about doing this for a job? I said, well, actually, I did think about it a few years ago, but the people around me at the time discouraged me because of my CP. He said, no, I think you should. I think you'll be a really good model for disabled people. So I said, but what do I need to become to do this. So he told me. I went home, I googled it, and the first thing that came up was instructability. So they were created by Aspire, a spinal cord charity in Stanmore in London, and they saw a lack of disabled trainers working in the gym at their head office in Stanmore. So they created instructability, got funding from Sport England to train up disabled people. I thought, oh, this sounds too good to be true. Free.
Yeah.
I printed it all off, took it to the gym, and the gym manager looked at it all and she said, no, apply for this. And I said, oh, I've got to do a work placement. She said, don't put it, you can do it here, put my name down.
Wow.
And so I applied, I got onto the course.
Wow.
Back in 2013. They spent all of August 2013 in Guildford at the Spectrum, doing level 2. Level 2 course. And then a few weeks later after that, when we all passed, we did our level 3 disability qualification to say that when we were on our work placement, we were qualified to work with disabled clients. So once we passed that, I did my 3-month work placement in my gym. We had to encourage local disabled people to come in and work with us when we're in there, which I did. And that was really insightful because I was working with completely different disabilities and completely different. I was also working with people with CP, but completely different to my CP. So it was like a really insightful experience for me working with different trainers, different people who worked in the gym, all the different knowledge that they all had. And from after that finished, I got taken on as a casual, which at the time it was a council gym that was being out to tender for other companies to take over the running of it. And I still now, GLL took over, and I still work for them basically, but my contract stayed at the council, and I got into the exercise referral team by just asking if I could volunteer on a few sessions. Within 2 weeks, I was given paid work, and that's where it all firstly kicked off. And once I got a bit of experience, I thought I've got to do my Zumba training now. That's what got me into all this in the first place. And I did that about in the February 2014, and then I did struggle to get some classes to start with. I virtually covered my first classes at the gym, and it wasn't great, but first classes are never great because you got nerves and I went from the back of a class to the front of a class. The people that I knew, I found that it's harder because when you know people, it's like you put more pressure on yourself. Because I didn't know them, it'd probably be completely different.
Yeah.
And just covered like different people's classes. And then I saw a job for Wiltshire Council for a Zumba instructor. I applied, and I'm still teaching there 9.5 years on. I got 5 classes there now, like Zumba, body conditioning. I got Wattbot, seated exercise, and I got 2 Zumba classes there. So yeah, so I've really built up a good following there. And then but that's the basics of my backbone. Basic.
It's fun. It's phenomenal. Tell for everybody, give us a definition of cerebral palsy. Give us your definition and how it differs with other individuals.
So cerebral palsy is defined as a motor movement disorder or condition. So it's classed as a neurological condition because it happens when you're born, or just at birth, or just after birth. And it can be diagnosed at the age of 3, and it tends to be the lack of oxygen to the brain, and then depending on how long that lack of oxygen to the brain is, depends on how the extent of brain damage that you have, basically. So I had a missed cot death at 9 weeks old. So I was born able-bodied. My mum went to check on my brother, who was 2 years older than me. About a minute later, she came back, eyes blue, she resuscitated me, got me up to hospital, and literally, obviously they took over everything. But so I'm classed as mild cerebral palsy, so I got there's different types of cerebral palsy. So I've got spastic diplegia cerebral palsy, which mainly affects my leg. So it mainly affects my right leg, but also affects my left hand as well. You've got like hemiplegia, where it's about like stroke, but it can affect one side, either side, depending on what part of the brain is affected. You've got quadriplegia, which is all four limbs, basically all four limbs are affected. And even people with quad CP, not all of them are in wheelchairs. You get some that are mobile, can walk around. You get people with, so I've got spastic cerebral palsy, so I get tight muscles, so all my muscles are quite tight. But you also got like the opposite, where they can be quite loose, like dystonia. You also got ataxic cerebral palsy, which mainly affects the cerebellum at the back of the brain and the balance and everything. It's a very, very diverse disability. No two people, any disability, no two people have it the same. When I talk to people, because you got to talk to kids, I always say, imagine that I'm a laptop that's 10 years old. You turn it on, it just takes that time to like wake up. It takes that time to get going in the morning, and that's me basically. So I can't just jump out of bed and go, "Hey, I'm here today." It just takes me a bit of time just to wake up, get my whole body moving. I sit on the edge of the bed and get up, and then I then think about moving. So it does take me a bit longer in the morning to do everything. But that is the sort of definition. Like people, I don't walk with any walking aids. Some people have walkers or walk crutches. Some have manual chairs. Some have power chairs. It is a purely physical condition, but you do have some that are more susceptible to have epilepsy, autism, or a learning disability on top of a cerebral palsy. So it's not part of a cerebral palsy, it's just it's a comorbidity on top of it.
Got it. Wow, Sam, that is so wide ranging. I had no idea it was so wide and vast. For you as an instructor and being such a role model, are you finding that you're attracting more clients with disabilities because they see you as a role model and they're empowered by what you're doing, they're motivated by what you're doing? And are you seeing that within the classes that you're teaching in the community and for Swindon?
So I have quite a diverse mix of people with either disability, mainly cerebral palsy, but I have others, or a long-term health condition. And a lot of them come to me because they say that I'm in their situation. I know what they're going through. I know how to adapt it for them. I'm not going to say, "Oh, you're not squatting properly. You've got to squat like this." I let them just get on and do their own technique. And they sort of know that if they're having a bad day, I understand that bad day because I can have bad days myself. So yeah, I have seen it, especially since obviously COVID and going online. I've obviously gone online myself and I've reached loads of people across the world.
Amazing.
And it is, I think when people find that there's someone like them that truly understands their needs, they're more likely to work out with them because it is that empathy, it is that that true understanding of cerebral palsy. And when I talk to disabled people, they are put off by non-disabled instructors because they don't understand the condition. They don't research the condition. They are told to do the correct technique for a non-disabled person, which they will never ever do, and that's what puts them off from going back to a community class or going to a PT. And it is those things that really do scar some people for life, and that shouldn't happen, really.
It shouldn't. So you are reaching. So you set up. Tell me about when you set up InclusFIT. Why did you set up that business, and what does it entail?
So I set up my own business when I qualified, but it is under my name. And then when I first qualified, I just got into classes, teaching classes, and I was in that sort of what do I do, what don't I do? And then my brother and my mum are like, you should be doing stuff for disabled people. And then I say, yes, and then obviously my day job, I got into a day job working for a disability sports project. So that sort of helped me carve my way into what I'm doing now. Then obviously I worked with Mel Butcher. So Mel helped me work on my business because I didn't want to keep calling it my name. It's only a stopgap till I could find a proper name for my business.
Yeah.
And because I was about inclusive fitness, I was trying to think of a word that described that and the type of people I work with. And it took me ages to come up with it, but I came up with InclusFIT because it is a play on the word inclusive, basically. And I just took the IVE off and put FIT, and that way people knew exactly what I'm about. The logo is on my top. I've got like different types of disabled people. I've got like an able body person on there. I got a person in a wheelchair, sharing the crutches. I got like a larger person on there because I represent everyone. And since I've rebranded about 6-7 years ago, literally my business has literally boomed. I started working with local charities a lot more, a lot of like disability day provisions locally, because they understood what I was about. And that's how it was born, basically.
Sam, I just see so many opportunities for your business and your knowledge. Every time I look at you, I think, oh my gosh, we need Sam speaking on stages around the country at conventions. We need to be, just getting the message out, because what you're doing is groundbreaking. I've been in the industry 35 years, 36 years. I don't know any other instructors with cerebral palsy at all. Do you know any other instructors with CP?
Not group fitness. I know a couple of PTs that have it, and they're quite new. They're within the 2 or 3 years old, so they're still defining themselves. They're still trying to get out there with clients and everything. But there is more and more becoming qualified because they start working out themselves, and it's a similar story to me. They see their own cerebral palsy improving, so then they go and train themselves.
Yeah.
So, but they mainly go into the PT route because that is what they did. Whereas I started off in the class route, and that's because I was always the only disabled person in the mainstream fitness class.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why is there not more disabled people in the mainstream fitness class? Why should I have to go to a specialist class when actually I'm quite intelligent and I don't need that specialist class? Yes, they serve their purpose for some disabled people, but not the whole disability community. And I set out to change that. Like when I do my community classes, they're open for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I have like able-bodied people, I have people with learning disabilities, people with physical disabilities, and literally it all come together, and it is lovely to see such a wide range of people just in one class working out, and that's how it should be, really.
Go ahead. I was thinking that, and how to articulate that question to you in the right way, and you have just. And I was thinking in my mind, how do I articulate? I'm sure not all disabled people would want to be like yourself in a specialist disabled. They would want to join a mainstream class. You were lucky. You went to a fantastic body balance instructor who was caring and supportive and helpful and helped you cross that bridge. Could you help us cross that bridge? How can we, as able-bodied instructors, encourage, help, the language that we use, the modifications, the education, perhaps courses that you've been on that you think might be helpful? What would be your suggestions?
So obviously with language, it's obviously there's certain words we don't use. We don't use the word special needs anymore. We don't use the word handicapped. They're sort of back in the 80s. It is, yes, we have special SEN, as in special educational needs, that is only used for people in education. So when they leave education, we don't use that term. So it is mainly like a person with cerebral palsy, or I'm Sam has cerebral palsy, or I'm Sam, I have a physical disability. So it's using the person first language. So you're referring to them as a direct person and not, oh, that Sam, she has cerebral palsy, and putting that cerebral palsy before me.
Yeah. Yes, it does. And I would have never have thought of that. So that's a really good point.
If instructors are, I always tell disabled people to contact the instructor before they go, because if they just turn up to a class, and if the instructor turns in away or something, it's it's often because of lack of knowledge, or they just get scared. They get put on the spot. What do I do? And we've all been there. I've been there with instructors, young people coming with a condition I never heard of, but it's how you deal with that situation at that moment in time. And it's about talking to that disabled person. If you've got someone that comes into your class with a bad back, you're going to talk to them in a completely different way to a disabled person that it shouldn't be. You're going to ask them exactly the same questions. You're going to ask them about their disability, what they're able to do. You're not going to ask them what they cannot do. You're going to talk about what they can do, because it's all about getting them moving. And even if they're doing part of the class but not all of it, that's better than nothing. It's getting them moving in the sensible form, asking if they need to sit down or have a chair, if they need to sit down for breaks and everything. Get to know the client. It's all about getting to know the client, like we do with everyone else, and seeing if they need a support worker or a carer with them. And they're perfectly legal to have a free carer with them in classes. So it's just asking all these questions, and sometimes what I do is I offer them to come and watch the class. They just come and sit at the side, watch the class. Then they get to see if it's for them or not, or they get to see, oh, actually, can I do this? And you might see them trying to do it sat down. And if they're trying to do it sat down on that session, they're more likely to come back and they've got an idea of how to adapt it. Always ask if they want you to adapt it, or they're going to adapt it themselves. 90% of the time, they will adapt it themselves, because they know their own limitations and what they can and can't do. Do not correct technique. I had some feedback recently of a girl with CP was put off on a class because the instructor was trying to get her to squat with her knees out. That is never ever going to happen. Our knees are designed to come in when we squat, so you just let them get on with the technique in their own way, because that is the best way that you're going to encourage them to come back. You're going to give them confidence. You're not coming across like an army sergeant. They are, and get to know their technique as well, because the more they come, you'll get to see that their technique is the same week in, week out. So you get to know their technique. And sometimes if you're trying to correct a disabled person's technique, you could do more harm than good. You're putting them right outside their normal gait, and that can be more dangerous than you actually think. So it is really about getting to know the clients. There is a level 3 designing exercise programs for disabled clients qualification, which I actually tutor on, which you can do. It covers mainly cerebral palsy. It covers like spinal cord injuries, limbness, like Down syndrome, and learning disabilities. It covers quite a wide. There's more on there, but that's the main ones it covers. But it covers your insurance, and it gives you the knowledge to actually work with disabled clients, basically, and it gives you the counter contradictions to different conditions of what you can and can't do.
Yeah,
it gives that instructor that confidence to actually be able to work with that client in a right way, that you're not going to discourage them of exercise. I've got 2 PT clients with CP, and literally one of them, I'm her 6th PT in 6 years, literally, because each one has treated her like a non-disabled person and tried to get her to progress quicker than she's able to. I've had her for 2 years now, and literally she's come on leaps and bounds since I've been working with her. I had another one for a year, and literally it took her about 2 years to start working with me, because she had to go and have therapy because of her last PT bullying her because of her disability.
Oh,
And
so
and
sad.
I'm just trying to like change that whole ethos. And sometimes the fitness professional doesn't know the impact of how they're talking to them, what they're doing. So it's just making sure that they know that there is repercussions to how you can certain ways you're talking. But don't be afraid to ask questions about the disability. We're happy to talk about our disability. We sometimes get more offended when you don't.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that. But your knowledge, I mean, I do see you speaking at conferences and speaking to operators, and I think your knowledge, we should be all listening to you and helping with how we teach, how we become more inclusive, and the right and the wrong way to approach things, and then moving on with the qualification that you've just chatted about. I'd love to offer that. Sam, what next for you? Now you've already smashed so many boundaries. And you have just, you have probably, I mean, so inspirational. Everybody who's on the chat is saying very, very inspirational. So what now for you? What's next?
Obviously, I did present before for a brand, but I obviously want to get that. It's back in 2017, 2018. I obviously did the course review because I want to get back into doing that. Because obviously, when I look at big fitness events, my clients would love to go, but they couldn't go because they're not really inclusive for them. So it'd be nice to have a disabled person up presenting, because then that would encourage more disabled people to go. Because if they don't see presenters like them, that discourages them from going.
Yeah.
Obviously, I want to get to do more public speaking as well, because obviously I've got a story to tell, and it's a very positive story, and it shows that how inclusive the fitness industry can be to disabled, not just disabled workforce, but disabled clients as well. And I would like to get out there and work on that. And I would like to try and develop my own. I've got a class called NeuroHit, which is my speciality class, and I want to bring that, hopefully develop that in time, bring it out to training instructors as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
that's my little package that I'm working
you
on.
can you're gonna do this. I just know you are. You are one determined person, Sam. Amazing. Thank you, Sam. If anybody's watching or listening over the next few days or weeks, whenever they pick up the podcast, where can they find you? And are people okay to contact you directly?
Yes, they are. Also, if you know anyone that's disabled, I do online classes and online PTs. If you think I'm happy, if you think that I'll be suitable for them, please contact me. So it is inclusive. My business, all across social media, I'm on every platform as InclusFIT. So it's InclusFIT. My website is www.inclusifit.co.uk. My email is just sam@inclusifit.co.uk. Just drop me a message and I will get back to you when I can, basically. Yeah.
Sam, thank you so much for taking the time today. And I think let's get some talks out there, and let's make some noise about you and what you're doing, because it's so inspiring. Thank you.
Pleasure.